Okay, I've got some notes here, dated 22nd of December 2024. I wrote that Satoshi had an understanding of money and monetary systems, not tailoring money for an economic system, only focusing on the economy of money production, the money production market, understanding the importance of production costs and how the market forms itself around things like that, fundamental things like that. So Satoshi's money is in the business of money. Yeah, not money for an economy, not so you can buy your coffee, not so we can change the money supply to boost this economy, etc., etc. It's the business of money. So I lined that off and then went to some new notes. So money is a tool. It's a abstraction. So it's meant to be a reflection of value that exists within the system. As you can see, previously listed or established, money being for an economy, again, is a reflection of value within that economy. Yeah, so US economy, UK, Europe economy, all these places have their own currencies. They would have their monies that are meant to reflect value within their contained little systems. However, we want something kind of global, global system to be their money to be a reflection of all that's going on in the production of value in all these different systems. So money can fairly claim upon scarcity, again, things like time and energy. But in order to do that, we must first determine the value of the claim or the value of the instrument that we're using to claim what is most scarce and its properties and its use as a money. As this thing that can make a claim upon time and energy, we need to determine how good it is at doing that in a fair way based on the properties that it will have. So I added this in after. I said to know how much it can claim so that, okay, let me think about this, hold on. Okay, I'm going to say this. To know how much it can claim, and then I haven't really finished it. I've just used arrows and I wrote unit of measurement and unit of account. Okay, so I think I was trying to compare the difference between a unit of measurement and a unit of account. So unit of account was like the denomination-based unit for, I guess, something like a monetary instrument within the context of it being within a system like economy. Now, unit of measurement is like a definite value similar to like gram, centimeter. So this is the final stage of the better money, once it finally evolves to its end state upon which you finally understand the true value of it. We found the true value of it and it's always a reflection of the true value, which means that it doesn't necessarily remain stable in price. Like everyone's saying, okay, Bitcoin's not going to be useful until it's stable at a price, but perhaps it's most important that it is always accurately priced. Yeah, so the price could change and then in a way it becomes stable in that you're always accurately pricing it. But again, that could result in it being fixed, but really and truly it kind of just determines how everything else is priced against it. If you're always accurately pricing this instrument, this better money, then it kind of reveals to us the price of everything else as we compare to the instrument that was always had a price that was accurately relevant or accurate to the global system that it's within. So determine the value of the claim. So that was a little bit that I added. So it was meant to go from claim upon scarcity, time/energy, determine value of claim. So you determine the value of the claim as an instrument in its ability to reflect accurately the value of what it is to claim, i.e. the instrument value is accurately priced and in what it can claim. So that brings it back to the system that it's within. Right now, Bitcoin is here on Earth. There is no interplanetary economies. So we're just dealing with the system of Earth and determine the value of it in terms of what it can claim, i.e. resources, time, production, etc. Now, the second, chapter of this writing, I said we have a unit of denomination, i.e. dollar, euro, gold, Bitcoin. Then we have price. Let me just figure out why I'm writing this. Okay, we're just gonna go through this and hopefully you one day work out how you can use this information. Right now, I can't even find it, so I'm just going to read through it. Anyway, we have the unit of denomination, i.e. dollar, euro, gold, Bitcoin. Then we have price. So if you write down on a piece of paper the dollar sign or the pound sign, and then let's say 4.39. So the unit is the dollar, the amount is 4.39, And contextually within the system, this could be seen as price, a price and amount. So the dollar or this price is relevant to the system that it's in. Again, the dollar is a unit of measurement, and we're seeking for an instrument to accurately... Okay, so I kind of understand what I'm saying. Is that I explained to know how much you can claim, and I compared unit of measurement to unit of account. And the dollar is meant to be this measuring quantity, because a dollar is a word. It's kind of just fiction. It's not even real. You know what I mean? There's a different... We have £1, $1. Okay, so they're different units of measurement. But it's really just nonsense. It's a nonsense word for a nonsense value. It's like 1 centimeter, $1, 1 gram. Gram is a unit of measurement. Centimeter is the unit of measurement. Now, if the dollar was a contained system, then it becomes a unit of measurement for value within its contained system. And really, that's what you would want it to be. You would want it to be something fixed. So when something is a unit of measurement like gram, it's relative or related to literally gravity. The universal medium that you're within is a universal measuring unit / denomination. 1 second is that one gram, kilogram, etc. So you would want the dollar to be like that, to be so good for the system that is within, that it is a unit of measurement that you understand. What does $1 relate to reality? What does it relate to an energetic cost, a time-based cost, a resource-based cost? What's the production cost of a dollar? How are they created? It's those things that give it value through time, or it will give you context as to how this thing should be valued, as how it's produced, how many are produced through time. It's not that they necessarily need that, but it gives you context. It allows you to understand the context of its value. So dollar is unit of measurement. Yeah, so let me finish what I'm saying is that the dollar, you want it to be that, a unit of measurement, but it's merely just a unit of account at this point in time. It's like we can give it a value, but that value can really, it's kind of meaningless. When we say something's $4.39, this loaf of bread is $3.99, and the next year it's going to be $4.99 due to inflation. It's like, it's just, it gives you no information. It gives you no context. You just, all you submit to and accept is that the price is going to go up, but you don't even know what the unit denomination really represents, because it's not really a unit of measurement. Why? Well, I guess you can do a bit of research and understanding the economic system that you're in as to figuring out why your bread went from $3.99 to $4.99. But again, it doesn't give you that information transparently, because the back end of the monetary system is obscured in terms of total supply, and it's not transparent like Bitcoin anyway. So we are seeking for an instrument to accurately reflect value within a system. So technically, again, you want to, if you are in a contained system such as your country, island, I'm here in the UK, most, back in the day, you're going to be shut off. You are kind of a contained system if you're just one country. You don't trade with others, etc., etc. So you want a unit that reflects the information about that contained system that you are within, and have a unit that is a reflection of the value of what is contained, its resources, the access to those resources, and how those resources are produced through time. That's going to allow us to be given information such as the price of something, its cost, its availability, etc., etc. But then we have the greater system. We live in a world that is hyper-connected. It's trading, global trade. It's one connected world. So we need an instrument that reflects the information of the greater system and the value that exists within the greater system. And Bitcoin, again, be it that you can interact with it energetically through mining and communicate to the global community or network the value in the free market of this instrument. So we are seeking for an instrument to accurately reflect value within the system and be value of the system. It needs to first reflect the true value of itself. So this is what we mean by price discovery, and discovering it being accurately valued. This is what Bitcoin is doing. We're trying to find out its true value within the great system, be it that everyone can get access to it, etc., and have their economies with their currency units that supposedly have value based on the fact that they are units for their contained systems. They denominate access to resources and trade and etc. like that. But be it that they are backed by that and they can access Bitcoin, and we can both determine the price and value of those currencies in relation to Bitcoin and help that discover Bitcoin's value. So it must become in itself an accurate reflection of its own value, become valuable, maintain accurate value. And again, I highlight it doesn't necessarily need to be stable. It just needs to be accurately priced all the time. And then from there, it can become a unit of measurement, especially if it's tied to things like energy. That keeps it grounded to the greater system that we are within. I've got some note in a box here that says gold coin is unit of account, i.e. one gold coin back in the day when they minted coins. It's one unit, one gold coin. But it's also a unit of measurement, i.e. they minted coins to have a standardized weight. So 1 ounce coin will be 1 ounce, yes, in weight, and it will be minted. It will have a stamp on it, security features, but it's one unit. It's one standardized unit of measurement or unit of account, but it's also a unit of measurement as we standardize the ounce. So that again, that also ease with verification, etc., etc. So you can see that right there is both, again, the unit of measurement and unit of account. So I wrote here separate thought, system design. This is something separate. This is for you to understand money and understand the numbers and what you're interacting with. So I wrote here £1, so the pound sign, and then 1.42, which is £1.42. This is not money. This is price. Okay, so basically I'm just gonna explain how, like, if you're doing system design or like representing the system in a digital way, it's like you kind of need although we're just using numbers, they can have different meanings, and the system will need to interact with it in different ways to understand what category it's in. So I've written here £1.42, sorry. This is not money. This is, in the context of the system, you can say it's a price. Now, if I say I'm going to give you £10 and I write that down, 10.10.00, again, the system can see it as not a price, but it's now an amount. But we can see the same thing here. We can see if I wrote at the start £10, this is not money, this is price. And then if I say I'm going to give you £10, it's not money, it's an amount. The 10 order written as 10 pound sign 10.00. It's the system interacts. There's different layers of information. There's different layers of information about the money, as money is now information and it's part of an information system. So we're transferring information. You just need to know what information you need to categorize those numbers into, so that you can understand what you're interacting with. But the issue is that we are all using numbers to represent value, and it's hard to tell the difference. It's hard to tell when you look at your bank balance and you see the numbers and you believe that's money, but it's really an amount. It's really IOU as well. You are owed that. It represents a claim on real value that exists within the system. And this is what allows you to not get confused in this new age of using digital numbers to represent money, and also represent values, and also represent amounts, and also represent credits, and also represent debits and debts. And it's like you're just going to get confused. And then also it's representing value. It's a claim to IOU, so it's representing value that doesn't exist until you verify its use as a claim. So this is the trick of the new age shell game of money, where the shell game, you have the shells, and then underneath is meant to be the value. And then you can just trick someone into believing that the value is there, or the thing to claim is there, when you're just operating with the abstraction, the IOU, the amount, the price, the promise. It's like when people their altcoin, their shitcoin is now worth 100 billion, and they think, they open their app and they see that they're profit, they got a profit of 1 billion, and they think that they're rich. And it's like, okay, now you got, that represents an option on that amount, an option to claim that amount, to transfer the value of that amount. But in order to realize it, you need to carry out some sales at that last trading price to capture a portion of that value. You won't capture a billion because there's not a billion people, or there's not a billion in dollars buying. So the money is just represents an optional claim on that value if there is trading occurring at that price. The trading being you doing the selling and someone else doing the buying. So anyway, but I wrote here, when you're breaking down a system to understand money in this way, the system must know how to interact with the money or / units and the different layers of information, which is what Bitcoin kind of does. It kind of understand that there's layers to this Bitcoin economy and the layers of information, etc. Anyway, next one is money is a reflection of value within the system. But which system? I think that's important to understand when you're dealing with dollars, when you're dealing with Bitcoins, when you're dealing with gold. Is it a contained system or graded system? Dollar perhaps not intended to be a unit to represent value outside the system, not universal money. So we're all in the dollar economy, be it that really and truly the dollar got removed from being checked by reality when they removed the gold convertibility. We're in their balance sheet. We're on their books. We're in their economy. We're just an extension of their economy. But it's also trying to be its own economy for its own country, and then also be the unit for the world that we're gonna use as a unit of measurement to compare against. Anyway, dollar perhaps not intended to be unit to represent value outside the system. It's not universal money, which is why there exist various currencies, all with different values. Market must line that off. Next, market must discover value of instrument first, become accurate reflection of the value of itself, since it is itself. In the case of gold, so let me say that again. Market must discover value of instrument, become accurate reflection. Okay, underline that word reflection of the value of itself. So gold in its existence, it doesn't rust, it doesn't corrode. All other substances that do that were eliminated, and we ended up in a reality in which the substance that does not do that is the shiny gold, yellow metal that you could see your reflection in it. If you hammered it out and flattened it, you would have a golden reflection. You could shine it up and you could see yourself, and it becomes a reflection. If you was made out of gold, I'm pretty sure you'd be happy. You know what I mean? But yeah, it becomes a reflection of the value of itself, because it is itself. It is gold. So the universe has shown us through billions of years that the perfection of a process results in gold, in a material that cannot be corrupted, cannot be eliminated, and you should seek to resemble that. So market must discover the value of instrument so that it becomes an accurate reflection of the value of itself. In the case of gold, it is itself. That is the value. That it's not that we give some number to it. It's that it is itself and it has those properties. In the case of Bitcoin, it would just have to be, I guess, let me carry on. University tested so that only gold remains, evidences in its properties. Okay, I was meant to skip there. So become accurate reflection of the value of itself, and then it can be used as an instrument to measure the value of all things accurately. And then I wrote here, worth its weight in gold. And then I have a scales where, gold is used as a unit of measurement, or they weigh gold in order to determine its value, because they understand that it is gold. Assuming you're not dealing with corrupted gold, debased gold, but you weigh gold and you're happy with its weight, assuming it is pure, and that allows you to determine its value based on amount of gold that is here. But you can see how the fact that gold can be debased, it can be mixed with other metals, that compromises its use as a measuring unit. Instead of just living in a streamlined reality where you just weigh up the gold, you tell them how much it's going to cost, 1 ounce. So if there's no standardized units, again, which will now slow you down. Now you got to do a weigh-in. As long as the gold, you see gold, you assume that it's pure, you just weigh it, get 1 ounce, boom, done. But you can see how impurity leads to you live in a reality that is more complex and more energetically wasteful, that you're wasting time having to do extra processes to determine the purity of that gold so that you can use it as a instrument for pricing and trade. I've wrote here new thought: without a unified representation of gold, I think I said this, without a unified representation of gold, i.e. the coin, the minted coin, verification via weight checks becomes difficult. And I went on Grok and I asked, and I was like, did standardizing coins into minting help with verification? Because that goes back to when I was thinking about being a unit of measurement. Where is it? Yeah, being a unit of account and unit of measurement. So I thought, okay, when you had that, you could be just weighing up different amounts of gold, and I think I don't know, I can't remember how I did it in my head, what the points that I highlighted were, but having a standardized coin that you standardize and you say it's 1 ounce, all you do is just check that it's 1 ounce, because you already have the higher verification of the minting process and the authority, and then all you have to do is just go in there, verify that it's 1 ounce, boom, you're done. Or you can just trust the minting and say, because they've standardized 1 ounce of weight into a coin, and the minting process is like, hey, we're verifying, allowing you to speed up the transactional process. You can then grab a one ounce counterweight, check it, done. No decimal weights, no 1.2 ounces. It's just 1 ounce, balance, done. And if you don't even want to go into that, you can just trust the minting process. You trust that whoever's been doing this verification process standardizes amounts. You've got the security checks, the ridged edges. You don't even have to worry about people shaving off. It's a standard weight. You can do your trade within this system. Line that off. Next is instrument must be valued by economy, collective agreement via discovery or price discovery. So in order for it to be useful on a global, everyone globally within their own little economies or subsystems must discover the price of it, the value of it, in order to have a global collective agreement as to the value of it in the greater system. So that there's really just, one person pricing something higher, it's the same substance. So there is that arbitrage, for example, which then raises the price of how it's of it in your economy. Dollars are voting instrument resulting in discovery via supply and demand. So in the case of something like Bitcoin, dollars, despite what people say about what they think Bitcoin should be $1, blah, blah, blah. Dollars really themselves are the voting instrument, resulting in discovery via supply and demand. In the case of BTC, people really are in denial that it should be valued as such. It's currently 100K. They don't even think it should be that much. They're claiming it is overvalued. Thus, explosive price moves occur when the market discovers that they were wrong. The flow of money and the natural interaction dictates this. People say no, the money says yes. Supply demand overrides or overrules opinion. It's like you're saying, 1 Bitcoin shouldn't be 100,000, but with only 21 million Bitcoin, with a certain amount being available in circulation, and with there being so many units of dollars, sloshing around in the system, they're just saying, look, supply demand is the two substances are interacting with each other, and it's not even a case of humans really deciding, because for some 100,000 is a big number, but the availability of dollars and the limited supply of Bitcoins is simply just is revealing the truth, is revealing the reality, that it's underpriced because there's enough dollars chasing a scarce amount of Bitcoins, or there's not enough Bitcoin coming into circulation, i.e. hitting the sell button at this point in the market cycle. That may change, but for this time being, the money talks louder. And that's all I have in my notes there. Again, no stories of intergalactic gods or anything like that. We'll go into 10 million. That's just what I got.